What the heck is schedule?
Yes, exactly. You see how I keep you busy.
That keeps you out of trouble.
You are a workaholic. I should go to the pub with a.
Hello, everyone. It's Mariana Sigala, editor-in-chief of the Journal of Hospitality and Tourist Management. And I'm delighted to chair this webinar on information and communication technologies advances. What's the pathways for research and the implications? We are very lucky and privileged today to have a panel of 5 speakers from all over the globe with a great diversity, I would say, not only in terms of gender, which is always an issue, but also we have a speaker from an industry who I'm sure is going to share a quite interesting project they are developing and implementing in Greece during the last years. We will start with the presentations of everyone, and at the end I will allow some time for questions. If you would like to ask anything, feel free to write it on the discussion board, and I will be monitoring that to moderate the questions at the end. And yes, please use that so you don't forget your question at the end. I won't consume more time. I will introduce speakers and I will give them the floor. So my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Professor Sihan Tsopanoglu. Probably many of you know him. He's an old fellow, member of IFIT, as I have been discussing before as well. He is currently the provost of Virsen University. I hope I've pronounced that correct. And he's going to talk about the role of AI and technology in transforming hospitality and tourism. Sihan, the floor is yours. Looking forward to get inspired.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Please allow me to share my screen. Hopefully you can see my screen. Thank you again, Mariana, for the invitation. I am currently working at the Virsen University in Irvine, California. Very quickly about myself. After I finished my college hospitality degree, I moved to London to work for a couple of years. Then I moved to United States, to Oklahoma State University to do my master's and PhD. After I finished my PhD, I worked at University of Delaware for about 10 years, followed by 15 years at the University of South Florida, where I served as the dean for about 8 years. As of March of 2025, I moved to Virsen University in Irvine. I serve as the president of Association of Global Educators and also serving currently as the founding editor of Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Technology. Mainly as part of this, obviously, webinar, my research area is hospitality technology, and this is my Google Scholar. This is a journal that I am the proud founding editor, published by Emerald. We are indexed in SSCI and also Scopus. For those of you who impact factors may be important, 6.9 for SSCI, 10.3 for the site score in Scopus. We are try to our best to make a quick decision. I invite everybody who is listening to this webinar to submit your articles to JHTM. We receive about 1,200 articles per year, and it is a Q1 journal in both in SSCI and there. Also, very briefly about Virsen University. This is a young university, about 10 years old, located in the Golden State of California, in the Southern California. Again, if anybody come there, please feel free to visit us. Our doors are open to you anytime. Irvine is a beautiful city, a suburb of Los Angeles, about 45 minutes from there. It's a planned city. We are also close to UC Irvine, about 10 minutes. The Virsen University is accredited by WASC and also approved by the Department of Education and, of course, CBS as well, too. we are open to partnership because it's a private university, it's much more flexible. So I invite everybody who's listening to this webinar, feel free to contact me. I will share my information at the end for any kind of partnership agreements. This is the motto of our university. We integrate internship, practical experience in all of the courses. This is a conference that we just had about a month ago at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We also have one coming up in a little bit later in there. So with this, as you all know, sustainability is the buzzword right now. Kind of like AI, there's not a single day that we don't hear without hearing sustainability and AI as well. The ability to maintain or support a process continuously over time is the simple definition, dictionary definition. But the definition that I really like myself is the United Nations. They define sustainability as the meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. In a very simple terms, as you all know, I am preaching the choir here, environment, economic and social aspects come together in balance in an ideal world to create sustainability. Of course, it doesn't happen all the time. As you all know, again, no need to mention this, but the world tourism is recovered already as of 2024. As you know, the numbers were going up with pandemic go down, and now 2023, I think we recovered 88%, but as of 2024, fully recovered almost everywhere in the world. This is all good, as you know, but at the same time, we are all hearing about tourism phobia everywhere in the world, where we used to talk about the over tourism that is happening. We see pictures like this all around the world, in Spain, in Italy, in other parts, in Greece, very, very different places. And these people are actually right in their own terms, because some of these people's daughters and sons are getting married, but they cannot find homes anymore because all the homes that are available are going to Airbnb or sold to tourists who would like to live there. So there's not. And similarly, you go to your local beach and then you see this. Used to own the beach yourself. Now that if you have a little space, you feel yourself lucky. Obviously, that creates this whole negative sentiment about tourists. As the tourism academicians, this is the last thing that we want everywhere. Again, Mariana's country, Santorini, has another paradise lost to over tourism, and you can see many, many different examples like this. And in TVs, there are actually documentaries talking about toxic tourists. In again, some terms that they are right. So UN Tourism predicts that by the end of this decade, we're going to surpass 2 billion international visitors. And in US, we had 2.99 million air passengers single one day. That was the record. And now that is even more than 3 million in a day. While this is happening, tourism phobia keeps growing. What I propose here is that sustainable tourism for all hopefully is going to be able to be solution. So in this particular presentation, very soon, I'm going to share with you some of the tools that are supported by AI that can be utilized to have a sustainable tourism. Ecology versus economy is the name of the game, to be able to kind of create this balance. And the balance is not easy to do, but yet again, I would like to show you some examples. In this article that I've done with my colleagues, what we have looked actually that this sustainability is really important. For example, even just for the profits. In this study, we looked at 5,000 hotels for all the data that available from the M3 company that does the accounting. And then what we found, as you can see in this particular slide, that as the temperature goes up 1 Celsius, in that the profits are negatively impacted going down. And there are many different reasons for this, which I will explain in a second. So sustainable tourism, sustainability, we already defined, the meeting the needs of today without compromising the needs of tomorrow. Here, this one, it takes the full account of current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts addressing the needs of visitors, industry, environment, and host communities. So how do we do that? Here's a very, it looks easy here when you see this thing, but their stakeholders are quite different, and they all need to work in harmony to be able to achieve. The government, the leadership, the markets, the networks, labor, best practices, financial capital, all need to work in harmony. So cities, individual cities around the world handle sustainability in their own terms. To give some example, for example, in Amsterdam, no longer new construction of new hotels. This is how they tackle. They say, you know what, no more tourists. Okay, it's enough. And in, for example, Venice, they start charging €5 per tourist to enter the city, which they use this money to give residents a better life, better infrastructure, etc. Also, Venice has banned loudspeakers and restricts the time of those speakers. Barcelona to raise tourist tax. You know, there's many different examples. Right after the COVID, Philippines decided to close Boracay, which they did a wonderful job because they really saved that paradise island. So here's some other examples. Also, we have an opportunity to get help from AI, again, to give you some examples. Again, AI we use every single day. It's the simulation of human intelligence in its simplest form. So when I give you some examples, let me just show you this quote from Peter Drucker, which says that you can't manage what you don't measure. What does he mean here? Just to give you a personal experience, I wanted to lose weight. For this reason, I start getting one AI apps where you take the picture of the food that you eat. It actually takes into how much calorie that you are eating. So that's measuring. Once I measure, oh, I am eating 3,000 calories a day. Now I can, hey, cut the bread, cut the rice, cut the dessert to be able to do it. Same idea actually can happen in AI applications in hospitality and tourism. The first one is crowd management with AI. There is a company called Crowd Vision. What they do is that they actually manage the crowds. Just to see this in this example.
Crowd Vision. We see data and movement that influences change. We believe innovation is formed from experience, and with that, Crowd Vision is driving global transformation. Crowd Vision, the pioneer in crowd movement, where data provides insight for smarter decisions. We provide a solution to your challenges. Crowd Vision data reduces queuing times, keeps people moving, enhances passenger experience, makes your airport more efficient, and creates opportunity for.
Again, for the sake of time, I'm going to cut it. If anybody's interested in the full presentation, I have it recorded. I'm happy to just reach out to me at the end of this presentation. I'll be happy to share with you. Another example with food waste. As you know, the food is wasted everywhere in the world. 1/3 of the food is wasted. To be able to tackle this issue, there is another company called Winno. This company is AI-based camera that is installed on the top of a waste basket. As people put whatever they put in the waste basket, it just simply calculates, understands what it is, and then calculates the monetary value. You cannot manage what you don't measure, Peter Drucker. So remember about that. So this is all about measuring what you do so that you can do it. Let's watch this quick video.
Every day, 1/3 of all food, either harvested or produced, goes to waste. At the same time, 1 in 9 people go hungry. Food is too precious to be wasted.
We are the first hotel chain in the UAE to have embraced the future kitchen. Food waste and artificial intelligence is supporting this ambition of being innovative. We decided to implement Winno across all our properties because we recognized food wastage as a real issue for our business. And it's a social issue, it's an economic issue, and it's something that we really wanted to address.
Winno Vision is the realization of what we set out to do from the beginning. It's an intelligent camera that sits on top of where food's thrown away. Our technology is trained to identify what that food is.
And as you see that this technology is getting mature. Marriott hotels actually have implemented this in some of their branches, and they see about 25%. When people realize that, oh my God, we are wasting this much food, they become more careful. Savvy is another kind of app. Actually, it helps with forecasting with the help of AI to be able to tell the restaurateurs how much food that they need to cook so that they don't waste too much at the end of the day. Let's again watch this video very quickly.
There, we're Savvy. We help cafes and bakeries run smarter and better with a little sprinkling of data. Struggling to figure out what customers will buy? Look into our surprisingly accurate crystal ball. The Savvy algorithm gives you product-by-product sales predictions up to 10 days in advance. We do the number crunching so you can spend time doing the things you love. Save even more time with our automations.
The nice thing about Savvy is that as you actually insert the actual results, it gets better and better. Energy management systems, as you all know, 40% of the cost in a hotel is energy, which is spent in the room. So the classical technologies like this doesn't work because people get 2 keys, they put even business card. Instead, what some of these hotels like Hilton and Marriott are using, actually, which creates about 20 to 30% reduction, is body motion, body heat sensors in the room that detects the people, and then once they go back outside of the room, they actually cut the energy, the water, in such a way that when the guest comes back, it goes back to the original desired temperature in less than 12 minutes. So this is an example of a room that is occupied. If the guest wants it 70 Fahrenheit, it's 70 Fahrenheit, 80. But when the guest goes out after some time, it goes into 80, for example, if this is a summertime. And when the guest comes back, it automatically understands. Another AI-based technology is Amadeus, which is a global distribution system, one of the 4 major ones. What they do is the carbon emissions calculator, which Google has integrated. If you ever go to Google Flights and then search for something, you don't only get the price and the itinerary, but also you get the carbon emissions right there. Of course, right now I am conducting a research to understand if anybody is going to buy a more expensive flight just because it has a lower carbon print. So that's a research question that I would like to challenge people to join me and maybe do some other studies as well too. Sustainable transport optimization from Google allows all the driving delivery apps to be able to use the most optimized delivery routes so that it is much better. Smart city applications, the sensors in golf courses, especially in Florida, which is so much in California. What this particular does, AI-based system, it works with the weather to see how the weather predictions are going to do, along with the humidity inside the earth to be able to understand how much water to do. And that saves 20% water in big golf courses. Smart air conditioning is another example. These are the old ones, which is not so effective, but the chiller plants, which is basically taking the water tank, putting that into 30 to 40 meter deep in the earth, which keeps it naturally very cold, and you take that cold water to use it to cool the air in the building. That also saves about 40%. Robotic eels for water quality. What it does, it actually takes the water sample in a lake, in a beach, in any place that you want, analyzes on a regular basis, and reports back to the either residents and also the government officials. Similarly, in Dubai, these drones are not only doing the same thing that you have seen earlier with the robotic eels, but also collecting.
Zihan, may I ask you to summarize so we have enough time for everyone?
Almost done.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
3 more. Wireless charging is happening soon, and these solar glasses are see-through, and that's going to change the way that hotels are built, as you see in this picture here. It will come. This is a solar, 100 solar backyard happening. Similarly, another restaurant
to make things better.
The wind turbine. The future is bright because we have a lot of hope when you see all these technologies. These are the research topics that I have come through. Thank you, Mariana. I'm done. Sustainable tourism is a journey, not a destination. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this webinar.
Thank you so much, Sihan. And you really hit the snake on the head, I think, because there is no planet B, as I usually say. We really need to do whatever to be sustainable, not only environmentally, but in all dimensions. And I think technology is a key player and transformator for that.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to take more time. I'll introduce the second speaker. Very delighted to have a speaker from the industry and actually representing a quite successful project being implemented and designed in Greece. It's Miss Katerina Saridaki. She's currently the director of Capsule T Accelerator. I'll say very quickly some things about this project, but I'm sure Katerina will share more things about that. So the Capsule T, it is the first tourism sector startup accelerator in Greece. It is powered by the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels. It started back in 2019 and it's growing from strength to strength. Many startups, they get mentor and support to grow their business through this program. And in 2022, the whole initiative won the Best Accelerator Award at the Global Startup Awards in South Europe region. I believe that's a good example and best practice because it shows us what is the potential of technologies not only to empower our industry and to transform us, but the power of technology to empower our graduates in terms of what careers they follow, how they professionally grow and develop themselves, and how in turn they can embed transformation in our sector. So without any further ado, Katerina, looking forward to hear what you're doing and how we can get more inspired or get our students inspired.
Thank you, Mariana, for the introduction and of course for the invitation. Hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be here today. I will share my screen and start my presentation because I think it's going to be long. I'll try to give it shorter. We are ready to go. Just a second. So I will start by sharing some information about the Greek ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, so you can get an idea. We're a small country, so eventually we're a small ecosystem too, but it's good to know. So the Greek startup ecosystem is a Thrive ecosystem that has evolved rapidly over the last 13 years to 14 years now, which started just after the economic crisis. Till then, everybody in Greece had small family-owned businesses or preferred to work in the public sector. So Equifund has mobilized over 500 million in public and private capital to Greek startups, and especially through the investment funds. We have up to now 11 active Greek investment funds and several angel and pre-seed stage VCs. I think now the number is over 900 startups currently registered on the Elevator Greece National Startup Registry. This is a registry that the government has set up, I think 3 or 4 years ago, in order to, understand how big or what is the potential and who is after all, what is after all the ecosystem, or what are the startups getting involved in what kind of industries. And we see that travel and hospitality ranks fourth among the most active sectors, with over 10% of startups focused directly or indirectly on tourism. And this changes over, every year. We've been second placed among the startups in the registry, and it goes up, from second place to fourth place. So next thing, it's good to know that we have numerous incubators and accelerators, and many competitions operate with hybrid funding, including sector-focused initiatives, but none until 2019 focusing on tourism. Public sector also is involved significantly through programs like our program, like other chambers have their own programs, and Elevate Greece. Greece consistently ranks in the top 5 EU countries for startup growth in travel tech per capita. And also it's good to know that tourism contributes about 25% to Greece's GDP, direct or indirectly. So it's very important to understand how big is the industry for us. It's, the heavy industry in Greece. And that was an oxymoron that until 2019, nobody focused on helping startups and new ideas regarding travel tech and hospitality. So the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels is operating as a legal entity of public law, and it's the institutional consultant for the Greek government on matters regarding hospitality and other matters regarding hotels. So we are part of the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels. We are an initiative of the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels, and it's a non-profit initiative. So all our programs run for free, no charge for the startups participating. And also all our mentors and strategic partners offer their services as volunteers or in kind. So our vision when we launched in April 2019 was to build an innovative ecosystem in the tourism sector. We wanted to build a bridge between all the stakeholders, the startups, the talents, and the innovators, the hoteliers, our members from the Hellenic Chamber of Hotels, and all the tourism-related companies, as well as academia and students coming from the academia and the universities and going into the entrepreneurship if they want to choose. So by creating this infrastructure, Capsule T also serves our members, which are learning more and more about new technologies, new solutions, and they can build, their strategies in digital transformation in their businesses. So Capsule TT stands for Tourism, Technology and Travel. We are the first accelerator in Greece focusing on tourism, but also I have to mention that we are one of the few in Europe. I think Paris has one, Welcome. It's called Welcome, focusing on tourism, and a few more. Usually it's an additional aspect of an accelerator, like a vertical, but not a huge, a holistic accelerator program focusing on tourism. We run through 2 programs for local startups, Idea Platform competition and the acceleration for early stage startups. And also we focus on programs and initiatives for our Greek startups to go abroad and expand their businesses. And also we work on building synergies to help our startups and also the industry as a whole to innovate and evolve. So our programs, the Idea Platform, is actually the pipeline for new ventures. We work with students and graduates and young people in general that have just an idea and they want our help and they need to work on their idea. So we give them the opportunity through the Idea Platform program to work for 1 month intensively by collaborating with other startups, startups that have grown their businesses already, offer mentorships and workshops to support these young people, talented people to start a new business. Eventually, we do also some in-kind support for the 3 winners, just the starting point for them to pay their MVPs and start their business. The acceleration program is the main program that we run for 5 months. It's a very holistic program. We will see more about the program later on. It's focusing on early stage startups, small teams that have just created a product or a service and they want to expand in the market more rapidly. Our program in general focuses on how to get our startups into the market, find more clients, and with the new adaptation of their the product or service during the program and their new clients also, then they can go and approach VCs and reach out for funding. That's our belief, and that's how we run our program. And also international delegations, we get our winners from the acceleration program all around the world. Usually we go to the ITB Berlin exhibition, and WTM this year will be in London in November. And we are now expanding also to exhibitions in Dubai for 2026. We've been also to Madrid. The purpose is for them to have access to a larger platform, access to more clients. And also these exhibitions have huge sectors focusing on technology, so they can see what are the new trends or find even collaborations through the meetups. So the Idea Platform competition, we start first of all going into universities and colleges around Greece to explain what are our needs as an industry, what are we looking for ideas, what we see from our members as next things to do. So we attract talent through these presentations and through these talks. This is an example from one presentation we had last year. And then when we receive all the applications, we start the program with a welcoming event. So all the aspiring startuppers will meet. We see lots of times they come with an idea and they collaborate or do synergy. So this is also an opportunity for them to meet up, and we start with 20 ideas and then finally we present 10 ideas at the end of the program. We have mentoring sessions, as I mentioned, and online workshops. All the program is run online, so we can have more students and people coming from all around Greece and be able to attend. And then we have networking events, and of course an event with the finals where we announce the award winners for the best ideas for that cohort. The 3 winners from the Idea Platform have the chance to move forward and come directly to the acceleration program. But also we receive applications from the market and the industry around, not expecting only from the Idea Platform to get new applicants. So the program runs, we have the onboarding part, we have about 18 workshops focusing on business skills, pitching, investment and finance, and AI, of course, and sustainability issues, because as we grow, we include more relevant workshops into our program. We have lots of meetups between the teams and with other industry-related mentors or other people coming into the program. Mentoring sessions, of course. we arranged for each team to have at least 3 mentors. Mariana is one of our mentors in this program, so they can work with the team on difficulties or challenges they may have to overcome. The very inspiring thing we do also is our on-site visit. This is an opportunity for startups to go into hotels and see how hotels work. It's not very easy for them to know, they try and build products or services for 5-star hotels, but they have never seen or visited a hotel like that. So that's a huge roadshow we do, and we try to get them in to city hotels, to resorts, to boutique hotels, so they can understand how the system works, and meet, of course, with managers and get useful feedback for their product. Exhibitions, we always participate in 2 of the biggest exhibitions in Greece, in Thessaloniki and in Athens. We offer them the opportunity to stand for the first time in an environment that is very sales-oriented, so they can test the waters and test, their pitching skills. And lots of networking and events happening throughout the 5 months period. And finally, we conclude the program with a final ceremony and award recognition for the 3 best startups from the cohort, the startups that have excelled during the 5-month period. What we have accomplished till now: 6 years, 8 accelerator cycles, 6 idea platform competitions, over 110 mentors and judges are supporting as volunteers our programs, and also over 80 speakers have joined our forces, also volunteering their time and share their experience and know-how. Over 40 sponsors and strategic partners, and 4 awards in Greece and abroad. Many talks around universities, colleges. We are always invited in events, and either regarding the startup ecosystem or the tourism industry, as experts combining these two markets. Over 120 on-site visits to hotels around Greece. This is, I think, a very large number, because the logistics of opening doors and finding the time for the people to in the hotels to see us. Every visit takes about 2 to 3 hours, and we travel around Greece to meet different and to see the different products around Greece, because Santorini is a different product than Thessaloniki. Moving forward, some other numbers.
Katerina, may I please ask you to summarize, because we need time for everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
Needless to say, and you will say it as well, there is plenty of information for everyone on your website.
Yes,
and I think it's a good source, because
it's a very good source, and exactly as you see, we have broke it down. We've created a new website recently, so you can see our startups per category, not only per cycle, and years. Historically, you can see the startups going through the website. Here are some of our supporters and our sponsors, because without all their help, we couldn't do all this good work. And you mentioned already, Mariana, our win. We were nominated, we were awarded the Best Accelerator for South Europe Startup Awards, and we were finalists for the Global Startup Awards. And I have included some case studies. You could see more on our website, but I thought it would be best to share some case studies from startups like PrimeHost. Is one of our companies focusing on AI and automates communication between hospitality providers and their visitors. And here is the flow, how the product works. And it's an all-in-one AI assistant. And the good thing is that somebody can edit. It's suggested replies, and everybody can, from the hotel, edit the answers if they don't like something and change it as they go. Algomo is also one of our winners. This is a very unique, I think, platform. It's a B2B platform. So the thing that they do, it's very personalized. It's personalization of your website. So once somebody is coming into your website and it's a professional, they understand, from their email and their keywords, who they are and what is their background. And then the website, your website changes, as you can see before Algomo and after Algomo, changes and gets more personalized according to the needs of the visitor.
Yeah.
Smartin.
Sorry, Katerina. Since I have some insight from Capsule T, because I was involved for a few years, I will make a fair comment to say that through the years, it's very obvious that the recent startups and companies are embedding and they're using more AI.
Yes.
I think
That
this
is
reflects the maturity of the entrepreneurs that you elevate and you try to
exactly. So like
showcase.
PrimePost was the first startup that came in with an AI platform and an AI solution, and that was 2 years ago. Last year we had Algomo and Smartin, this company that you see now. They have created an AI receptionist, but not only it's also for the website. So when somebody goes in the website of a hotel, they have a personalized AI assistant, but with a visual. It's like a personal assistant. I have included some other cases. They're not related with AI, so we can, just to get an idea of what other startups are included in our program. Of course, they have embraced AI, but they're not focusing exclusively on AI. So even narratologists, they were like starting in 2020. Now they have included AI solutions into their app. And Deliverback also is another unique solution for lost and found. They also have an AI aspect, but they're not basing their product on AI. And last but not least, we have Waste Cloud. Waste management is very, very important. So this is a smart solution for hotels and large tourist-related businesses that have a lot of waste to manage. And they have a system, a cloud system, that you can monitor, you can collect all the data, and also reporting, do your reporting through the system. So I think this is it from me. This year, Mariana, you are correct. I think we have 4 or 5 startups that are focusing on AI. So we see every year more and more coming in and having more solutions related with AI tools or with AI aspect.
Yeah,
so
excellent. Thank you so much, Katerina. And as I said, I will, I motivate people to visit your website. I think you have plenty of material that some people can even do research about entrepreneurship and technology, or the influence of accelerator programs on that. I'll move on to our next speaker, Dr. Eva Martin Fuentes from University of Lleida. She's going to talk more general about the impact of technologies in transforming our industries and what research paths we could follow. Eva, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mariana. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for the invitation. And it's truly an honor to be here with this panel of colleagues and friends. Well, let me.
We cannot hear you. You have.
You are muted, Professor.
Sorry, it was. Sorry, I start again. Sorry. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening for everyone. Thank you, Mariana, for this invitation, this kind invitation. It's an honor to be here with this panel of colleagues and friends. Well, I'm Eva Martin from University of Lleida in Spain. And although I'm already in my 50s, it's only 7 years since I defended my PhD thesis. So I'm going, when I was first invited to this webinar, must admit I wasn't completely sure to accept, and when I accepted, what to focus on, because there are so many fascinating digital trends to explore. And although artificial intelligence is transforming everything, every aspect of our field, I want to focus on this, my talk, since several of my colleagues will share excellent perspectives and contributions on this topic. Today, I'd like to approach this topic from a slightly different perspective. I've been researching a lot about user-generated content in tourism and hospitality, and I would like to move from UGC to socially responsible futures. My talk is based on my own research journey of nearly a decade, well, 7 years, the PhD, and 3 more, exploring how digital voices, from online reviews to artificial intelligence influencers, virtual influencers, are reshaping the way we understand and study tourism. Well, let me start with a short introduction about global connectivity. We all know this provides a context for everything we do. The world is currently experiencing some of the most important social changes in the history. People, businesses, societies, everything is connected. We saw this with coronavirus pandemic, a powerful reminder of how deeply interconnected our world has become. And what happens in one corner of the planet can instantly affect people, economies, and destinations everywhere. These linkages are largely driving 2 of the fastest growing industry in the world, which is tourism, which connects people, and IT, which connects information. And as some colleagues has already written about it, when we combine the two, we see that tourism is in fact an information-based industry. Information technology has completely transformed how tourism organizations communicate with customers, how they compete, and how they plan their strategies. And within this digital transformation, user-generated content have become a powerful force in tourism, shaping not only consumer decisions, but also research, but also policy, and even destination and companies' reputation. Online reviews are not just numbers. We have been researching about the narratives of real experiences. They inspire other tourists. They help businesses improve, and they give researchers a window into the human behavior. For almost 10 years, our work has focused on understanding what these reviews tell us, not only about platforms or ratings, but also about satisfaction and about emotions. In our early research, we work with large volumes of online reviews, especially drawing conclusions from ratings, from a quantitative way, across different platforms, their website, and how these affect competitiveness in tourism and hospitality. Our studies explore whether user ratings truly reflect official hotel categories, and how platform algorithms can influence hotel performance and hotel visibility. Over the time, we developed research also related to different types of destinations and hotels, from online platforms such as Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Google Review, Airbnb. And this stage position online reviews as a key source of information, of tourism information. We have also explored emotions in digital content using sentiment analysis. We examine how tourists express feelings through Airbnb reviews, for example. And our research has expanded into UGC, also through social media. I mentioned also virtual influencers and artificial intelligence, also ethics, and so on. And now, why I'm sharing this research journey, why I'm explaining this. Because I have realized, and it also serves as an example of what we need to rethink, or at least how we should start changing, at least me, our way of doing research. And I must admit that there is a challenge behind this way of working. I mean, in our case, or in my case, the need to publish in high-impact journals has often led us to study global topics that cannot always be directly transferred to local context or to local experiences. I have realized in these years that we have reached a point where we publish extensively about the global, but we should not forget the local, or at least we should be able to apply it to our local reality. Although I have traveled a lot and I spent time doing research in different parts of the world, with Mariana in Australia, for example, I live and I work in the same city where I was born, which is Lleida, an inland city near Barcelona and close to the Pyrenees. And this personal and geographical connection constantly reminds me that our research must also contribute to our territory. To our community, to our destinations, and to our people. I'm hearing someone.
Can you please mute your microphones?
Okay, thank you. Sometimes what we really miss is knowledge transfer with real social impact. So as researchers, while we continue to explore data and digital trends, we must also ensure that our findings are meaningful for local realities. That's the only way to move toward more socially responsible and inclusive futures for tourism and hospitality. And not only we are moving toward research to contribute with our closest region, but also we should research trying to provide social impact. I mean, in this sense, I want to emphasize that our research in ICT for tourism and hospitality should aim to address real social challenges. In practice, this means that destinations, hospitality sector, tourism organizations need to adapt integrated approaches, combining digital intelligence, community engagement, and of course, sustainability. And the future research on tourism requires continuous transformation. Our goal should be to ensure that digital innovation supports sustainable, inclusive, and socially responsible tourism, benefiting from both visitors and also local communities. And here I share some of the near future we are planning to research through the lens of UGC, from social media and from online opinion platforms, such as sustainable analysis. We map to the adoption of and perception of sustainability and corporate social responsibility practices in tourism and hospitality, identifying gaps between what businesses implement and what tourists perceive. Also investigate the social impact of tourism through ICT, explore how digital tourism initiatives contribute to local communities, cultural identity, environmental regeneration, for example. Also to examine the role of artificial intelligence and virtual influencers in ethics and in ethical consume, understanding how AI driving content shapes perceptions of authenticity, for example, or responsible tourism. Also link global insights with local impact, ensure findings are actionable for local destination, helping small and medium businesses implement social responsible practices. Also the generative artificial intelligence recommendation systems, how it's going to change everything, how emerging generative AI tools shapes tourism advices, ethical consume, and how they influence our decisions and the business strategies. And lastly, well, I will like to say that our aim is to ensure that ICT research translates into practical social impact, helping destinations, organizations, and communities around the world to achieve inclusive, regenerative, and socially responsible tourism. And by putting our small grain of sand, we should aim to contribute to solve big challenges in the world, such as climate emergency, sustainability, diversity, and peace. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. I hope I stayed on time.
Thank you so much, Eva. And yes, contributing to local context, I think, is something that we all as researchers need to address as well. Okay, let's move country. We're going North Europe. We're going to Finland, and we have Professor Juho Pesonen with us, ex-president of IFIT, professor of tourist business, and he's going to talk about generative AI and big data in tourism and hospitality. Juho, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mariana. It's a pleasure to come and join this webinar to talk about such an interesting topic, and also hear how AI and technology is still shaping and reshaping our industry. And what really I'm talking about today is kind of like the big question of what currently is even real, how do we know what it is real, and how it affects our decisions. So you can see here are two pictures, and probably you guys can see which one is real picture taken by me and which is generated by AI. There is still this odd, eerie feeling about many AI pictures, but just considering how new this generative AI is as a technology, only about 7 years old, it's astonishing how far we've already come in such a short time. So we are moving into the direction where it's becoming impossible to recognize and differentiate, especially regarding digital content, what is AI generated and what actually exists. And this will be putting a lot of pressures and challenges for researchers and, of course, the society in general. Just a few insights about my background as professor of tourism business at the University of Eastern Finland. So we are quite close to the Russian border, operating from Joensuu campus. I'm there the vice head of the business school, responsible for research development, doctoral program, and we also have a master degree program and a PhD program in tourism marketing and management. I'm also associate editor for the Journal of Information Technology and Tourism, and doing quite a lot of research on these big data issues at this moment with many colleagues all around the world. And this presentation is really about discussing some of the things that I am seeing happening right now in the field. In my presentation title, I have the word generative AI, and basically everybody nowadays knows more or less what generative AI is and how these ChatGPT and other chatbots function and represent this new technology. But it's still from the scientific perspective, it's being defined as we speak, and there's some good papers around this topic recently coming. But we are seeing this new technology that's able to generate different kind of context with low barriers to use in an interactive way, can be customized in a very flexible way, and they are also very efficient, creating stuff that normally would take a lot of man hours and knowledge and skills to produce. Regarding big data research, this is one of my absolute favorite images from an article from 2018, which is a literature review of big data research in tourism field. And in this research, the authors basically distribute or identify 3 different kinds of data sources: users, devices, and operations. And I'm going to briefly talk about all of these dimensions, but mostly focusing on users and thinking about how this picture is changing now that we have this new technology of generative AI developing really, really rapidly. Let's start with user data and user-generated content, online data, such as online texts, online photos, videos, music, etc. What we are seeing here is there is an old, let's say, theory called dead internet theory, which basically posits that internet is becoming unusable because of AI-generated content. And this really is a conspiracy theory if you go back into the early days, which states that government agencies are controlling us through this AI-generated content, and really what we are seeing online is not real. But now, and I'm definitely not rooting for any conspiracy theory, but I think there starts to be a hint of truth in this idea that maybe internet as we know it is dying. And there's some indicators why that is happening, and if that is happening. For example, that there is a lot of online bots that are now creating content, and also a lot of internet traffic altogether is done by automated bots instead of humans. They are, of course, not malicious, everybody, but there are a lot of bots connected to cybercrime, but also increasingly a lot of bots connected to these new generative AI companies, such as JHTM and Google, just scouting the web for new content all the time. Recently, if we look at the music field, Spotify removed 75 million songs from their inventory, and that sounds quite a lot, and it is especially quite a lot when you consider that Spotify currently has, after this removal, about 100 million songs in their inventory. So it was quite a big change for Spotify, and you can imagine how much content is being produced by these generative AI chatbots. And this phenomenon is being called AI slop. And we are probably seeing it every time you go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media service you are using, that there seems to be this AI-produced videos, pictures, texts, and that is definitely increasing. And at this moment, they are not of that high quality, meaning that they are relatively easy to spot, or at least possible to spot and differentiate from human-made content. But that is definitely changing, and there's a lot of business models built around this idea of automated human interaction online, that there are actors who are using digital systems as if they were real users, but really they are automated content production systems. And for example, one of the main reasons for this is ChatGPT and this new technology, generative AI technology. And right now, according to Axios research, about half of the content articles produced online are now generated by AI. And this, of course, has interesting implications for AI development, because these generative AI systems are trained on this online data. And we are seeing that the quality of the training drops the more AI content there is in the training dataset. So it might be that these systems are actually destroying themselves as they are increasingly used to produce online content. But this is a huge change that prompts us the question of, can we even use online data after 2024? What happens with that data? And previous and current research really shows that ChatGPT is, even though this is done in medical field, still the reviews that ChatGPT makes are very difficult to distinguish from human-made reviews. And this technology is increasing and improving all the time. So it's becoming really, really difficult to differentiate whether or not a text is produced by human and AI. And of course, you can think of hotels, for example, that they would have the financial implication to flood their system with online data, and flood different online travel review boards with online data. Sorry, can you turn off the microphones for the presentation? Thank you. But I think this really changes the way how we see user-generated content and its analysis. And I think there are some topics and research approaches that we have to forget and not do anymore, and something that I'm paying attention to when I'm reviewing papers, that if authors are using recent data, online data, to suggest that this is how humans behave, that's not the case anymore, and they are not able to distinguish how much of this content actually that they are using is done by humans and how much is done by AI. Of course, there's a lot of things that we can still do. For example, just utilizing data that was generated and uploaded online before 2023, or using platforms that have verified reviews or other content from real humans and system to verify this. Or then, for example, hyperlink and network analysis still function pretty well even with generative AI. But there's many approaches like measuring customer satisfaction, sentiment, word of mouth recommendation, destination image research, customer engagement with content that are not anymore representing human behavior. And I think we have to start forgetting these topics in a way, or at least forgetting using the latest data to study these topics. If we go into device data, we have a lot of different kind of devices and new devices also coming up. We are seeing AI enhanced equipment like AI glasses, AI mobile phones, AI toys, and those are generating new kind of device data that will be really interesting for research. But also AI is of course opening up new possibilities for analyzing device data and working as an analysis tool for researchers. Now the question is that should anybody be able to analyze big data, because now you can ask different kind of analysis methods, and there's some research around this topic that the black box models that many of these generative AI systems are based on are actually not that good for data analysis, because you don't really know what's behind all of that. But they do have their own place and time, especially because they have speed and scale that was not possible before. But there's a huge danger in utilizing these systems for data analysis. Of course, transaction data, we get web search data, web page visiting data, online booking data, all different kinds of data sets. And this is increasing now that even more holiday makers are using AI. It's still very small minority, but we are seeing increasingly that this is affecting customer behavior, and people are now, for example, looking for destinations that don't exist in real life because AI has recommended them to visit that destination. So I think that this field is changing and the data we have there is changing. And one of the things that we are now seeing is that it's increasingly difficult to scrape online data because these websites are putting protection against these AI chatbots that are scouting their websites all the time in order to save resources. And this kind of online scraping becomes definitely more difficult. Last thing I want to point out, something that we are now seeing, is that there's a new venue or new dimension into this framework, which is AI-generated synthetic data. That can be used, for example, to simulate events, simulate cities, and so on. There's a couple of articles right now being published in this topic. Yes, here, about synthetic data in tourism, but it's a very novel field, just developing. We are seeing research that the synthetic data is actually not that good at this moment to represent human behavior and human data, but we are getting really, really close. And here is, for example, latest recent paper we have published on this topic that touches about these synthetic destinations and how they are affecting people's destination images. For example, prompting a new topic for research. And I would like to conclude with this AI-generated video. That was a very cool way of...
the voice? We didn't hear the voice of the video.
It's only an 8-second video done with Gemini AI where the customer complains that he didn't want any onions in his meal, and the waiter was really sorry about this. But what this actually means is that generative AI is also opening new possibilities, because we as researchers can utilize these systems for example, to generate these hypothetical scenarios for research and create these videos that, for example, we can use in survey studies, not necessarily in big data studies, but in survey studies to analyze how customers feel or respond to these sections. But of course, they are not perfect. If you look at the video, you can see how glass of red wine turns into a glass of water as the customer starts drinking it. But this technology is, again, developing really, really rapidly. So I think this is completely changing the big data landscape, this new technology, and it will continue to do so. In one way, we are going to lose some possibilities to do research, but it will also open up new possibilities for researchers where only basically your imagination is the limit of what you can study and how you can create new knowledge. And I'm also quite enthusiastic and interested about how that will turn out. Thank you from my side. Really happy to connect with all of you guys on LinkedIn or discuss this topic further.
Kiitos, Juho. Thank you. Since you haven't talked about synthetic biology and synthetic wine, I'm fine, because I was reading a paper about wine being produced in a chemistry and not in the ground. And I said, my God,
Yeah.
I don't want to
We
be
are living
fed
an
by
interesting
food
time.
in a chemistry lab or wine from a chemistry lab. But yeah, anyway, AI is evolving very fast. And I hope I will die before things like this happen. I know our last speaker is waiting long, so I will give the floor to him. Last but not least, we have Professor Chulmol Koo from Kyung-hee University. We're moving to a continent closer to me in Korea. Chulmo is going to talk about AI as well and smart tourism, since he has been doing a lot of work in the smart tourism area. Chulmo, the floor is yours.
Okay. Can you see my slide? Okay, good. Good evening from Seoul. It's a Friday night. It's surprising to do work at Friday night. And Mariana, she is a workaholic editor of The World. I think it's the most. Anyway, happy to present my short slide regarding AI powered for smart tourism. My name is Chulmo Koo and Kyung-hee University, South Korea. Briefly introduce myself. I actively research on IT-enabled tourism, but I renamed with Maria Sigala Smart Tourism Foundation and Development last 1 decade ago, 2015. The site had over 3,000, quite well. And keep working with other colleagues about the smart tourism ecosystem. And also, as you know, I'm actively launching a new journal of smart tourism. It's just baby comparing to JHTM, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Management. Okay, but I welcoming your submission. And also another big business for me, I launching the conference, the labeled World Conference on Smart Tourism. So acronym is WCST. So Mariana, she also voluntarily attending our conference. Don't forget that, attending this conference, okay? And a lot of my close friends and colleagues are well-known professors and researchers in tourism field, as well as MIS field and computer science field. Quite convergence. Okay, let's talk about our today's topic. Today's topic of smart tourism, AI, and innovation. But I starting from the concept is paradigm shift. You may well understand this keyword, paradigm shift, which is published in the book Thomas Kuhn, Structure of a Scientific Revolution. The paradigm, which means a comprehensive set of the basic perspective and shared belief and techniques. And the paradigm shifted, which means fundamental changing in basic concept and practice. The best, very best example of paradigm shift coming from Ptolemy geocentric model and Niccolo Copernicus and heliocentric model. So geocentric model actually lasting about 1,393, almost 1,500 years. So actually the wrong theory was recognized as a truth. And all of a sudden, Copernicus announced his book, The Revolution is 1543, which means it's heliocentric and new normal, and we are finally paradigm shift to the new era of scientific revolution. So that is the paradigm shift. You know, this year, just a week ago, Nobel Prize in Economics award to those three researchers. Their topics about innovation-driven economic growth and prerequisite for sustainable growth through the technology progress. And they say for the theory of a sustained growth through the creative destruction. So they quote three sentences quite related to our area. And the paradigm shift in digital. The digital begins from the Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. There was a 1700, and he invented the binary system. And 170 years later, George Boole, he announced law of sort. There was in the middle school textbook, A and B, A or B, A or not B, A and not B. That concept hugely influenced to the Claude Shannon, the father of AI. He published the digital circuit theory in 1937, which is the beginning of a modern computing era. So here's a picture of Claude Shannon. As you know, last 5 decades, we are currently talking about generative AI in the middle of 2025. This 2020s era, we back to the 10 years back smartphone, 2007, introduced by Steve Jobs. And this is a phenomenon. So a lot of things is wirelessly application-based business model and assisted the tourism selection process and ultimately choosing the tourism items. Again, 10 years back to 2000, there was the time social media, especially YouTube and Facebook. Again, 10 years back to 1990, in the middle of 1990 is the internet. Probably Maria, me, and Jian, there was time, college days or sort of things. Then suddenly, all of a sudden, the world is changing from traditional, conventional to the digital era. However, 10 years back, we have a desktop. So since 1980 up to now, every single 10 years, the world is changing, and we say paradigm shift. And definitely tourism business also transformed overall based on each tourism revolution. In the meantime, last 10 years ago, Maria Sigala, Gretchen, and me, Xiang, we wrote a paper about smart tourism and foundation and development with the line of smartphone era. And this is quite a phenomenon. And we're comparing smartphone and e-tourism, how they differ each other. E-tourism is transforming from traditional to the digital, but smart tourism is we are wirelessly connection without wired connection and the data generation by application. So data converging, collection, processing, and providing to destination, which is transformed to smart destination. And also like Airbnb, Uber sort of things is providing the innovation, the payment system and vehicle system and sort of things. We call it a smart business ecosystem. Definitely a person who are heavily experienced on smartphone and finding efficiency, effectiveness, and comfortableness that we say smart experience. This paper is phenomenally outcomes. Since 2015, the proliferation of a smart tourism concept is goal spread all over the world based on region-based and time-based. And also topics go spread to the widely variety of topics with smartphone and smart tourism. So each single 3 years, series based and topic is go spread and different topics with the smartphone. Look at that, the smart tourism expansion to multidisciplinary quite successfully. Smart tourism is from the beginning of tourism field and converging to the MIS field and also computer science field. So box is look at that, our key paper, Analysis of Tourism and Information Management and Journals of Business Research, which is a mainstream journal of each field, and they are keen on the smart tourism as well. So 10 years later, 1 decade later, again, the world is paradigm shift from smart tourism to AI-powered smart tourism. And I labeled name is Smart Tourism 2.0, which is accepted in electronic market again, 2025, and that will be forthcoming soon. The main point is the convergence or interaction between human and AI. So artificial intelligence and human intelligence, non-human intelligence and artificial intelligence, they should interact with each other and interface each other. So hybrid system is really essential and required to do tourism process and selection and tourism business. So right now we should consider simultaneously residents as well as tourists together. At the same time, firm level business and consumer level business. So we say the converging 2 by 2. They 4 different pillars are using at the same time ChatGPT, Cloud AI, other AI system together. That is quite different from the conventional technology-based business. So smart tourism 2015, now 2025, AI enabled smart tourism 2.0, and definitely AI support business layer, residence layer, and tourist layer, and also cloud and physical layer. And also, as you know, augmented reality and virtual reality is embedded in the metaverse technology. So metaverse, the play of metaverse is not quite successful yet, but sooner or later, metaverse will encompass application and AI and augment together and reinvigorate our essential tourism business. So I think smart tourism is refers to application-based tourism. However, 10 years later, because of AI-powered smart tourism 2.0, leverage AI as a core technology. Look at that, the consumers last 10 years, we heavily use the application for searching information about the tourism and hospitality. Right now, in the middle of a consumer and end user and between first-tier supplier and second-tier supplier and ChatGPT or AI agent-based, they are select and recommend personally and for me. So sooner or later, application-based, we will be integrated interface between agent, conventional business, and end users. So as you know, the application of generative AI, I classified output modality, text generation, image video generation, and speech music generation and code generation. So for 5 different classification and module system level, application level, and potential application to H&T. So application level in H&T industry quite evolutionized to more depending on AI, and probably beginning of our human thought and creations will be supported by AI, and then ending by AI. So last 4 years since ChatGPT, I work hard for a paper working for AI, and especially ChatGPT for trip planning. There was published in Journal of Travel Research, and AI destination marketing and the JTR, and the seeing as human or machine, and effect of ChatGPT answering style. So this paper is coming from that phenomenon, generative AI-powered review summary, which is quite important to social presence image with people without people. And also the rise of AI-driven content creation. So AI creative content as well as information processing together. Sooner or later, we should think about how AI manipulate our contents. And second is AI privacy and ethics. So definitely AI is as creative, perfect, contents with people without people. There was the really sensitivity to the other people. There was the topic is privacy and ethics. So I do the research about the privacy concern with the social presence with people without people for recommendation of information and tourism information and satisfaction and overall image. So as you look at the right side, the official website and artificial intelligence. So official website in terms of high privacy and low privacy. So official website is really, really care about high privacy concern. That means human-made information. But however, artificial intelligence, they are not care about privacy concern, which means low privacy is not so matter to artificial intelligence, which means people are still not so care or afraid or scary of artificial intelligence recommendation. And second is AI as machine or human. As you know, it's like the cartoon. Hey, Google, play us some music, please. And why are you being so polite? And just in case, and keep that done alive, we always said, please. There is afraid, Sam Altman is mentioned about saying please and thank you to ChatGPT significantly contribute to the electronic cost was tens of millions of dollars, which means that we people think AI as a human. So say anthropologically is a conversation like a human. So we still believe people are TripAdvisor information and hotel information, AI information for finding tourism information as a helper place, right side. So I conducted the research, AI perception and result, AI perception as a machine or versus a human. So if we think AI as a machine, then people think about high transparency is critical. But if we think AI as a human, we much more naive and patience for transparency. So we acceptable the rough information provided by AI. So here's my conclusion of current AI topics and in academia. Once again, what is the smart tourism 2.0 is changing from app-based smart tourism to evolutionize AI as a core technology and to be a agent for recommendation to end users, which means residents and tourists together. Definitely, we need integration of app, cloud computing, metaverse, AR, VR, and we need interface together. Key issue is the integration of a supplier, first-tier supplier, second-tier supplier, third-tier supplier. How can we combine those technology and application and database to user perspective? Fundamental shift from simple digital presence to complex AI human ecosystem that continually enhance travel experience through the human and machine collaboration. So I think a database innovative solution provide for using of contextual low data and using of social connective data and integrating legacy system and AI application together in the process of creating travel itinerary. That's all. For connecting me, I providing WeChat, WhatsApp, and KakaoTalk. Thank you very much for listening my presentation.
Thank you for being on time, Tsulmo, and for raising some more other issues about AI. Okay, I know our scheduled time is over, but I still want to give 10 more minutes for people to ask any questions if they have any, or to start a dialogue among our speakers. If you have any issue, please raise it on the chat and I will monitor that to probe our speakers. But I will start the conversation with something that I think might resonate with all of you, and I would like your very, very short comment. I will start with a joke. Tsulmo, we are talking about smart tourism for very long, but I think probably we might need to start talking about stupid tourism. I don't know about you, but I think the more people will start using AI, not in a proper way, the more we will forget, and we are not going to train our brain to think and being creative. I've been reading a lot about how the development and the evolution of language goes together with the evolution of thought and creativity. And as you can imagine, this affects everything in terms of how we use generative AI to do research, how we use generative AI to find an itinerary, a booking, what to drink, what to eat with the drink, how to do our budgeting, how to do insurance. What do we do? What's the solution? Particularly when we're talking about entrepreneurship, startups, creativity, what's the responsibility of everyone? And I will start with you, Tsulmo. I put you on the spot.
Okay, thank you for giving the great opportunity starting first. Okay, you and I start smart tourism 10 years ago. And as time goes by, we depending on smartphone and smart application. And I think we are, without smartphone, we cannot survive anymore. So I say human intelligence and non-human intelligence at the same time concurrently. So one biological brain, another is a machine brain. So definitely we have two brains concurrently all the time. And the biological brain is depending on machine brain, and we are becoming stupid because of too much depending on machine brain. So I think we are definitely we should avoid from that dependence on technology intentionally, and we keep working on run away from that technology. But we already addicted. We already no choice but to use that kind of, the service and recommendation. So I think there is trend and the direction is not stoppable. The things is different is as a human, as an intelligence, we are intentionally depart from the technology dependence. And so isolated from that environment and intentionally we read books and intentionally read maps. so far, that's the best way to figure out this situation. And then probably we keep depending on the technology, and then addiction will not be away from us. So we keep stupid, and we keep mistake by typing in input the service. So probably it's in the middle of transforming from the conventional technology to the generative AI, which is a creative and thinking AI, thinking technology. I don't know how to solve this, resolve this complex situation, but you know.
Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts. Katerina, may I put you on the next hot seat? What's your view from the industry point of view?
I think we need some balance. We have to balance the technology and the aspect of hospitality, especially hospitality, and especially in Greece. But I can understand. I can assume that happens everywhere. You need the human communication and interaction. So when you visit a hotel, you might want to check in prior, and this is something that technology will, facilitate it. But during your stay, you want to speak with the receptionist. You want to speak with
real people,
with real people, because this is part of the experience. So we cannot avoid it eventually. This is the experience. It's going to be without, you cannot imagine hospitality without the experience of the human interaction. So it's good to have all these tools, and we want to have all these tools for the operational part, for the hotel to operate and service better and minimize cost on all the situations that come and are supported by technology. But the human interaction should stay there. Like also, it's in airplanes, because I heard somewhere that they are going to stop having air attendants and they will have robots. It's not going to be the same experience. So I think balance, we cannot avoid technology, so we have to incorporate it and balance it into the human nature. It's very good, and also it depends what type of traveling you do. Well, for example, when you travel for business, I find it very, very easy for me as a person to go on, ChatGPT or Gemini and do my prompts. And I'm staying for 2 days in Malaga. What should I do? Where should I go? Give me all the routes. It's fantastic. I do it in half an hour. I'm ready to go. But when I visit, let's say, Malaga again in the future, or another place as a vacation, if I don't interact with the local experience and go and find, the local gems, then I will miss out. And this is the balance that we have to find. That's my opinion. And that's why we try to explain also to the hoteliers and all the tourism-related businesses that we work, one part of the market, and the startups. The startups are not coming in to dismiss the human element or to fire employees. It's to make your work easier, faster, more competitive, and also to help your clients, your guests, to feel served better and on time and have a better experience.
Yeah.
So
we really need to train the industry in terms of how to implement it to save time, but then to know how to utilize humanly the time that they save, because I don't think many industry.
That's what we try to do through Capsule Tea also. We explain, this is the technology, this is, the hospitality values. Let's combine them for a better outcome, not to disrupt the whole concept of travel by eliminating the human aspect.
Yeah. Juho has raised an interesting point, and I will read it because he can't speak. He said, hopefully technology will make the stupid tourists smart tourists But his concern is that companies like OpenAI, they started as a non-profit organization and now they are being run like Microsoft. And I'm sure you have heard what OpenAI is doing. They're giving their generative AI to many platforms, including Expedia, Booking, Trip.com, for free, in inverted commas. My suspicion is that they're trying to source data. As you know, the power of generative AI depends on amount and quality of data it's being trained on. And as soon as they will become powerful, and they have a very powerful generative AI, because it will be trained based on how we use it, and many people using it in Expedia, Trip.com, they will become the next Google. But my point is, usually the search of traveling involves people's curiosity. I'm curious, I'm searching, I'm finding where I'm going to do. In the future, I'm afraid it's going to be controlled and influenced by OpenAI and generative AI. No inspiration, no curiosity.
Mariana, if you allow me, this is happening in all industries. And if we are afraid about travel, let's go further about healthcare and health.
No, you don't want to touch these industries then.
Exactly. So it's huge for all the industries, and we have to balance it in all industries.
Yeah. So yeah, mindful use, I think it's important, and getting ready and trained how to use it properly, because I think we're losing control. Sihan has raised his hand. Can you talk? Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I just would like to tell you that I want to add to what Katerina and Chulmo said in response to this question, and Yuho as well too, is the word is choice. I'll tell you why. My son works for the Ritz-Carlton company for the last 7 years. He's one of the managers in the front office, which the average data rate is around $500. He's telling me that from his experience that the people who come to front desk drop 70%. These people pay $500, but yet they avoid the front desk. They also use the Marriott Bonvoy app now to communicate with the front desk via text, and they are getting the answers via text. So in such a way that now the company is integrating this text app into their software so that there is not even a human. For example, if somebody wants a late checkout, if that person is titanium or platinum in the Bonvoy system, it will do automatically. So the key here is not smart or stupid or AI or something, is giving the guests and the employees the choice. They choose how they would like to interact with the guests, with each other, and all that stuff. So I think the companies that give that choice to the stakeholders are the ones that are going to be the competitive in the marketplace.
Yeah, yeah. Well, probably the clients of this hotel were the babies that they were born with mobile phones, and they were texting their parents that they're hungry, rather than talking to them. But yeah, people are evolving, and yeah, new ways of communication are needed as well. Eva, I don't want to omit you, so what's your thoughts? And
I completely agree with Katerina about the balance. I'm thinking we as professors should facilitate the students this powerful tool and how to use it, but how to use it from a critical perspective. I mean, they have to know that there is bias, gender bias, racist bias with the AI, sorry, and also the hallucinations, and we have to make them aware that they cannot use it as without a critical perspective or a critical view.
Beautiful. Okay, and to close our webinar, I'll give you a question, and I want all of our speakers, if they can, to give me few keywords about what they think is the next big research question. I won't start with Chulmo. I put you on the spot. I will leave you
Yes.
for later on. Sihan,
Oh, okay. We meet them.
give
Okay.
me
Thank you
3
so much.
keywords.
Thank
Okay,
you.
a few
Thank you.
words.
Thank you.
Do I start?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
as
Sihan. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't want to put you first again, sorry. Unless if you want to go.
Okay. So,
Sihan
Mariana,
is here.
you asked me, or you?
Yeah.
Yeah, here. So for me, of course, AI comes as the first, and robotics, and within the, AI touches many different things as well too, including robotics, including service delivery, including also VR and AR. AR for the Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Technology. I welcome any kind of innovations in the way that we do business is welcome. So those, I don't want to label things per se, because we want all these different kind of research ideas. But if I were to mention few, sustainability and AI, sustainability and technology would be one, and robotics and VR
These
and
are
AR.
more than 3 keywords. Thank you, Sihan. Eva.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about artificial intelligence, of course, and how to use it for a more responsible tourism and a more regenerative also tourism, and of course, sustainability.
Beautiful. Katerina, what the industry wants to hear from us to research?
Find more clients. No, the industry
Synthetic clients. Here you
it's
go.
about the industry is all about numbers, but also it's all about sustainability is going to be a huge factor, and it's going to be important on the climate change, because if we don't have the landscapes and we don't have the the nature, then why somebody is going to visit and spend their time in a different country? So I think thinking more smart and creating more smart solutions on how to sustain a better environment, a better planet, so we want to visit it and go around it. So because what we see, the private sector does what they do. They do as a hotel. The hotels may have KPIs and have systems and monitor their the emissions or whatever, but that's not replicated also outside of their environment. So this is a more community, a more city-based activity that should go forward. So I think we need more alliances, we need more work towards connecting all the members of the chain to create a better environment for all of us, for the businesses, for the citizens, for the travelers. So I think this is the most important. And also I will add, monitor the AI. We should find a way how to monitor better this system that is going to, conquer us at the end. So we have to try and find better, ways to monitor it.
Excellent. And Sulmo.
Thank you for asking the keyword, 3 keyword. Okay, copy and paste and AI. Copy and paste and AI.
I like that.
I would say that is our research field in academia. We cannot create quantum jump. We incrementally increase our research approach to AI context. So theory is there as it is, and frame as it is. Just different thing is from application enabled by technology, but to thinking AI. So we should create a reframe from the old original frame to AI contextualized frame. So I like what I said, privacy is still an issue, and AI marketing is still an issue, but we cannot change this fundamentally from non-zero to the 100%. Just slightly change from previous one. So I'm strongly recommend the researchers from here, just thinking about the previous, smart tourism or traditional marketing or traditional theory and the framework, and slightly add AI context to the original frame, and then adaptation and modification, reframe. That's the way of achieving the academic performance. I think.
Yeah, and I will agree with you. We are not lacking knowledge. Knowledge exists, or information actually exists everywhere. The one who will survive is the one who will continue not accessing information, but be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I think I like that. Yuho says, using technology to become more equitable. I think that's very important. Sustainability is not only about environment, although environment is very important. Socio-cultural sustainability, I think it's really important, and doing the right things for the society. Beautiful. I don't want to consume more time. I would really like to sincerely thank all the speakers for your time and effort, and for sharing really your insights and knowledge. I will make an end and release you for the Friday drinks.
Thank you.
Give me the money. Yes.
You can have a drink in the morning, no problem.
The
Thank
editor
you
of
all.
JHTM, you are rich scholar, so please send the money by Bitcoin to me. I'm bring that Bitcoin to go the Korean pop.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Good day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you next.